In the case of the ring that we're making today, we're going to use a cabochon moonstone and a silver bezel setting for a cabochon. But were we using a setting such as this platinum tapered bezel, we'd have to cut a seat perfectly to match it. So the first thing that we would do is take our gemstone, say something like this sapphire right here, drop it into our measuring tool, measure the exact size, and this happens to be an exactly 4.5 millimeter stone, and then we would use an exactly 4.5 millimeter setting burr to cut a seat that would match that perfectly. But in the case of today's cabochon setting, we don't need to cut a seat because the mounting already fits it perfectly. If we were setting that faceted stone into this tapered bezel, were it in a ring or an earring or a pendant or anything, we'd use an exact sized burr with a flat side, such as this one, that happens to be exactly 4.5 millimeters, and we'd cut a seat right into the setting. Now, we want to cut this deep enough that the top of the bezel will roll over relatively easily and will protect it, but not so deep that you bury the stone inside the setting. Another important factor to think of is how thick the wall is, because after you're finishing it, you don't want to cut your way with a file or polish your way through the edge of the stone. The ring that we are working on today is a cabochon style setting. And to prep the bezel a little bit, I'm going to drop this ring right into my GRS Benchmate, which is a really handy tool for anyone who's looking for a great vise for their bench. I'm actually going to use a sanding stick with a 400 grit sandpaper on it. I'm going to finish the top of it. This will make for a nice smooth edge once we actually set the stone. There we go. Smooth, clean, and ready to go.